Good morning, Tuesday morning. It's the Good Morning Show. Again this week, a new month, an August month, because it's August. And it's August the 4th today. And we're talking humor and laughter a little bit today, because Lord knows we need it. Things are getting a little serious. Just before we begin, donate below. I have a Patreon link, and that's how we do this. So if you feel the urge, you like the content, please make a donation to those watching and viewing. So our guest today with the smiling face, and she shares a birthday with me. And as we said, you have to be born on November 4th in order to be on this show, and we both are, is Cathy Nesbitt. And Cathy, by vocation, has her own business. She's a worm advocate and founder of Cathy's Crawley Composters. But that's not what we're going to talk about today, although we should bring you back. She established this business in 2002. It's an environmental business. It specializes in vermicomposting, indoor composting with worms, and organic diversion. Vermicomposting is a leading edge answer to our organic waste problem. So through inspirational storytelling and incredible sense of humor, which is where we're going to go, Cathy has raised the level of awareness about environmental conservation. And Cathy's thought-provoking style in speaking inspires individuals to act and do something. Over 75,000 students have seen her presentation, and Cathy has spoken on vermiculture at provincial and national conferences, and she's also been featured in a variety of media, including print, television, and radio. And years ago, we had you on when I did the Small Business Big Idea show, and that was a really beautiful interview. So, Cathy, good morning, welcome.
Good morning, David, birthday twin.
We always wish each other happy birthday and on our birthday. So humor plays a big role in your life, and certainly some of the most enjoyable people to be around are those who have an ability to see the funny side of things and who can laugh at themselves. And I remember reading once that the definition of a sense of humor is the ability to laugh at the incongruities of life and be able to laugh at ourselves. Having a sense of humor also helps us keep things in perspective, and numerous scientific studies have cited the positive effects of laughter on our health. So I didn't come up with that, although I could have, but I found that article written by Jeffrey Kerslake, the Archdiocese of Ottawa. So go figure, eh? He's a Catholic priest, and he wrote an article about humor. So to start, humor really connects us all. It allows us to be real. It allows us to let go of the seriousness of life. And so on today's Good Morning Show, that's what we're talking about with Cathy Nesbitt. Cathy, you suggested when we spoke last week about us doing an interview on humor today. Why humor, and what speaks to you about the value of laughter, especially in your work and in your persona? You've got this big smile on today. So what speaks to you about humor?
Humor, it's helped me so much to stay on my mission with worms, just briefly about the worms, it's this huge mission that I'm on to put worms in every living space. The word worm has a negative connotation, right? Can of worms, computer viruses, it's just not a positive thing. 18 years, and I was still hearing from people like, ew, worms in the house, and, just their own stories. I'm meeting a lot of adults who were traumatized as children by worms, like in the schoolyard, or who knows, something happened. And you carry those fears with you, or those things. So it's like, if you're afraid of something, there's no way you're going to invite that into your house.
To top it off, I remember like the warning, well, if you eat too much candy, you're going to get worms. Crap.
Right? So all these kind of misconceptions that we don't even realize are in our DNA. So I was kind of getting beaten down. I started this. I was like, yeah, I'm going to do this. This will be so great. Everybody will have worms because I'm so convincing. And then I was meeting people who were afraid of worms, and people feel at liberty to say kind of mean things like, "Ooh, worms are gross and they're creepy and stay away," and all these things. So I really like, as a very sensitive entity with this strong mission. So I'm putting myself out, ready to be exposed, and then if you say something mean, I get hurt. Be nice. you know so laughter, I was introduced to laughter yoga in about I think it was 2015, and it was one of those happenstance things. I was at a conference, and one of the speakers at the beginning, just a little 10-minute intro, I'd never heard of laughter yoga, and she introduced us, and I was like, that's interesting. Then I was at a large networking event, and the very first person I met was a laughter yoga teacher, like the same week. And I was like, huh, twice in 1 week. So I said, laughter yoga is mainstream. And she said, no, it isn't. So we went around, we stuck together at that networking event, and every person we met, I said, have you heard of laughter yoga? Have you heard of laughter yoga? Have you heard of laughter yoga? And nobody had. And I was like, So I decided, oh my gosh, what fun. I took a course. I started to go to the laughter club with my mother-in-law, super fun. And then I decided I would take the course. And I loved it so much, I decided to become a teacher. So now I'm a laughter yoga teacher. And it has helped me so much, just to stay on track. When you're laughing, you become present, fully present. You can't be thinking about, oh, yesterday or tomorrow I got to do this or that, right? You can't be in the past or the future. You're right here laughing. So it really has helped me to stay present, stay on track, and stay focused on my worm mission and what I need to do.
Yeah. And, your warm mission, it means something to you, and it is making a difference. So it's really important that you bring that element of humor. And, in your bio that I just read, it does suggest that you bring humor to the teaching, and the topic that you are teaching may not intrigue everyone that you reach. So how does humor actually, help you achieve results and get your message across when you're teaching 75,000 plus people and students over the years? How does humor actually help you get that message across and make it cool for people to learn?
So when we have an idea about something, and say we're freaked out by something, say worms. If I start talking to you about worms, you're thinking, la la, oh, worms, la 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 la, and you can't hear my message if you're thinking, ew, worms in my head. Oh, no, I'm la la la, worms in my head, la 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 la, worms, right? You're not hearing my message. So now I start with laughter. I get them laughing, open them up, soften them up, and then I say, oh, I have worms. Right? I get connected to people. Then I'm not so scary. I'm not like the creepy worm woman. I'm like this laughing lady. Then I can say, oh, I also have worms. I also have worms. No, not in my belly. Yeah. Right? I have this other piece that's very important. So I think I think these are really two important pieces to my life and to my mission. I really believe that the worms are super important. For the time that we're in, laughter might be more important.
Yes.
Like our mental health is really suffering at this time.
Yes. Yeah.
We're isolated, right? And we're meant to be together. We're social creatures. This is really, really a challenge for a lot of people. I love people. I really am missing hugs. At least I'm in a marriage, a happy marriage. There's people in situations, I know you're aware, there's people in situations that are just like horrific, and they're stuck there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm single, and I miss hugs too, and yeah, and you get them from people you work with or your friends or whatever. So when you teach and you bring this element of fun and humor to it, what do you notice in those that you teach? What do you notice in the students when you add humor to your work? What begins to happen to them? How do they soften up and accept your message more?
They start to become more playful. And it's really interesting. I mean, BC, before COVID.
Yeah.
I was going into schools, and you know, my workshops were always entertaining. Now with laughter yoga, I sort of somehow have in my as I'm talking, I add haha, and I kind of laugh as I'm talking, and without even noticing, it's just become part of my way. And the students will ask me, "How come you laugh?" Like they'll put their, "How come you laugh so much?" It kind of hurts my heart because I think, how come you notice that I'm laughing so much? Like that means they're not laughing enough. So often with the laughter, when I tell them I'm a laughter teacher, you know, it's like it's a funny title, and we, you know, if the teacher's willing, we actually will do a laughter session. I'll say let's experience some laughter. Let's laugh full on because we know whenever we've had a good belly laugh, our stomach's hurting, our cheeks are hurting. It's just like, oh my gosh, no, I'm hurting. And we feel so great. We're just like energized. And so I think that, again, bringing us present, if you want to get your message across, you need your audience to be paying attention.
Yeah.
If you bring everybody together with laughter, it's kind of an NLP concept, right? Like getting rapport with, like breathing together and getting rapport with your audience. It's kind of that same thing, but it's super fun, and we all know the joys of laughter.
Oh yeah, for sure. And a good joke or a good, I love puns. And for those who know me, and you know, and even a groan is a good sign, you know, to send a little love and light. And if you're having a hard time, like let's say you are feeling a little down in the dumps, you know, even just like doing a good belly laugh and faking it until you make it, kind of thing. Like you're like, let's do it now, right?
Yes.
Let's go on three. We'll laugh. Okay, ready? 1, 2, 3. Ah! That's so, what a great interview. All right, just what we just did. Now I'm laughing because it's so silly, but it changes your vibe, your energy by just a good belly laugh like that. And when you fake it and then you start to get into it, it's like, yeah, you start to laugh, you know, so.
That's where the club comes in, David. That's where it is magic, because you do start, you know, maybe it's like I don't feel like laughing. Some people are really serious, you know, even smiling is a little challenging. So here's the thing. When we're stressed, we're secreting cortisol. We need a little bit of that as a driver, you know, to get us going, but too much is not good.
Right, so
Um, what's that?
not healthy.
Or healthy, right? So when we start to smile and then we add a laugh and whatever, we start to secrete the love drugs, dopamine, serotonin, the endorphins. So our choice, we're our own dispenser of our, you know, our feel good hormones, or the bad ones.
It doesn't cost a thing other than a
It doesn't cost a thing. I keep wondering if I'm going to wear out my dopamine serotonin dispenser.
keep wearing it out. So you talked about people being serious, and you know we do. We live in such a serious world where, you know, politics is serious, the pandemic is serious, wearing a mask or not wearing a mask is serious, racism is serious, poverty is serious, and so is the environment and your work. We're also serious to the point where we forgot to laugh and have fun too. What's your take on that? Because I think, yeah, I'll ask you because I'll share my 10 cents in a second.
So again, laughter is the best medicine. We've all heard it before. It's scientifically proven, which is beautiful for those that need the science. So the brain requires 25% more oxygen than the rest of the body as an operating principle, right? It's a machine. When we're stressed, we're not breathing properly, so our body's not getting what it needs. For sure, our brain isn't. You know, have you ever lost anything like your keys or your phone or something, and you're flapping around, where is it? Come on, I gotta go. The longer you're flapping around, right, your brain, it's literally being deprived of oxygen, so it can't help you. So I think that the laughter just really lightens us up and helps oxygenate us so that we can connect and feel better. And you know, when we're tired, it's because our body doesn't have any oxygen.
Mm.
our cells are all sluggish because there's no oxygen. So all we need to do is stand up, look up, jump around, move a bit, and we start to get energy because our cells are starting to wake up and be energized.
Right, right. In that piece I shared by the Archdiocese of Ottawa, he adds that the lives of saints show us that a robust sense of humor is perfectly compatible with a life of faith, which, and he cites an example that St. Philip Neri was famous in his day for his funny antics in Rome, which he often used to draw people to God. Even Buddha, the smiling Buddha, had a lightheartedness. How has humor helped you personally deal with your own stress and adversity, especially during these past 4.5 months?
Yeah, so I practice every single day. I actually do a morning bike ride, either half an hour or an hour. And I've incorporated laughter yoga with my bike ride, which makes it more fitness. And I also affect those that I meet on my bike ride. I live in Bradford, and so a smallish place, and it's really fun when I ride around. It's fun when I go at the same time. I kind of see the same, the morning walkers, and they know me now, so they kind of wave. And some people will join in; they'll laugh with me, which is really fun. And
Hmm.
I always thank them. Thank you for laughing along. Great. When I ride at a different time, like today, I haven't gone yet, so I'll go after our little talk here, and I'll meet different people. I'll meet the later crew. And it's really interesting the looks that I get. And I met a man last year. He had his little granddaughter, and I stopped to chat with him, and he was like a little bit apprehensive. The laughing lady has stopped off her bike. When I met him, I saw him a couple weeks after that, and we stopped and chatted. And he said, when people see people laughing by themselves, they think there's something wrong with them.
Hmm.
And I started laughing, ha 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 ha. I didn't know he was talking about me. Until I got home and I was like, oh, he was talking about me. So when I saw him with his granddaughter, he was like a little bit afraid, guarding the daughter, like the granddaughter, like I might do something. And I was like, oh my gosh, that's so funny. But I see him all the time now. And we have these great chats and we're good friends now. It's just really funny.
You said something really important. You owned your stuff. You know, you owned your stuff. And what if collectively we started to own our stuff and laugh at who we were? And I'm talking about ethnic differences because this is still a hot topic and relations. What if we could laugh more at our cultural makeup and our nuances and our ethnic diversity and let go of the political correctness of it a little bit? And yes, be respectful to others, but also don't take who you are so seriously, because at the end of the day, Cathy, we're all souls. We're born into a body, a religion, a color, a size, a sex, and really, yeah, we are all different, and yet we're so similar. So, all at once. So if we had a laugh at ourselves and a laugh at it all, that I think would transform race relations around the world, wouldn't it? What's your
Yeah, well, the it was laughter yoga was started by a medical doctor in India, Dr. Madan Kataria, in 1995. It's the 20th anniversary, and his goal is world peace through laughter. Can
yeah,
you imagine everybody laughing together? And there's actually Skype Laughter, really fun. So there's a few countries that have offer Skype Laughter. You can Skype in at any time, like from anywhere.
cool.
And one day he came on. So Dr. Kateria comes on every now and then to the class, which is fun. And one day he came on and said, "Hey, we're starting Skype Laughter Yoga Pakistan. Can you come on so we have a good launch?" And while we're on there, there's no talking. It's just the little chat box. Somebody wrote in the chat box, "Oh my gosh, Madan, your goal is world peace. And look, you have India and Pakistan laughing together." I got goosebumps. I was just like, wow.
Amazing. I love it.
Beautiful.
And why not? Why not laugh? Because to be serious and so stuck in our way and our thinking and our negativity is like, I shared the story of the two wolves with a friend yesterday. The Cherokee story of the grandfather talking about the one wolf, which is about negativity anger and hate, and and then the other wolf is about love and compassion and kindness. And then the little boy, the grandson, asks his grandfather, well, which wolf will win, grandfather? And the grandfather says, the wolf you feed. So it's all about what do we want to put our energy? Do we want to be all serious, or do we want to have lighthearted laughter and a little bit of mirth, right? So how can we begin, Cathy, to add humor into our day-to-day lives? You've already mentioned laughter yoga. We've just done a belly laugh, like a fake belly laugh. How else can we add a little bit of, light and laughter into our daily lives? And you do it in your, in your morning ritual. So.
Yeah, so I think just really by moving, we're not moving enough. So we have our heart to pump our blood. We have another fluid called lymph, and it only moves when we move, right? And we're sitting a lot. So even just like getting up and just like gently moving around, doing some gentle stretches, going outside and earthing. You've heard of earthing, have you?
No.
Oh, there's a free documentary right now, Earthing the movie. When you have your own business, like I feel like I've had so many wonderful opportunities because I've been exhibiting for 18 years. So attending these like little shows and fairs. And so you meet the coolest people like that have these little niche items that never make it to, the big box stores. So that stuff's never going to be available there. It's only available at these little things. And their business might not survive because not enough people know about them.
Right.
And then their cool thing disappears. So I met the people, there were some folks, I think it was like 2005, selling this book called Earthing. And I was like, what's that? And it's all about the barefoot movement. As soon as we started wearing shoes, we're disconnected from the earth's energy, which is a healing source, right? Like it reduces inflammation, like all kinds of things, even like sleep and stuff. So since 2005, I've been earthing, like just intentionally 15 minutes at least a day, walking barefoot on the grass. That's all you need.
Wow.
But they have products that you can plug in and stuff. There is a free movie right now, Earthing the documentary, and I think it was I was going to say invented, I guess discovered by a guy who was a cable guy, and somehow he got sick or something. And during the movie, they just show him plugging a probe into the earth with bare feet, and the meter reads. So there's electricity going through his body, and then they have him wearing shoes, plugging the thing in, and the meter doesn't move.
Right. Wow. So earthing, a little laughter yoga, a little belly laugh.
Moving around.
Station out of Hamilton, 820 Cham, which is all comedy.
Yes, 2820, love it.
So little things like that we can do. So I did mention, how serious we all are. And one of the things we forget to laugh at is ourselves, to own our differences and our shortcomings and just be okay with them. Because like, none of us are perfect, and if we accepted who we are and started to love and embrace that and how to laugh and not look at ourselves so seriously, that to me would also contribute more peace on the planet. What's your take on that idea?
Absolutely. When we change ourselves, we change the world around us, right? When we change our state, our energy, then the people around us will change as well. They'll be like, oh, right? Because that's how energy works. That's how it works. So yeah, I think it's important that we keep a good frame. Like where you focus is what you get.
Yeah.
If you're thinking, oh, I don't have enough, then not enough is going to keep on showing.
Yeah. Wow, great. I love this. This is good. We're with Cathy Nesbitt this morning on the Good Morning Show. Cathy's owner of Cathy's Crowd Composters. Whoop. Are you okay? Can you hear me and see me?
I can't hear you.
Uh-oh.
Oh no, Rick, I can't hear him.
How about now? No, now?
Oh, my speaker. Something's happened to my speaker.
Okay.
Oh, David. Rick, help me. IT. Technology problems.
Don't we?
Oh gosh.
How
What
do,
do I do? I don't know what to do.
how,
The speaker just jumped from there, and I got a note saying it changed things, and now I can't hear him speaking, but he can hear me. So we're being recorded.
as we're doing
Okay, here you go.
a video or something,
It's okay. IT has arrived. Oh gosh.
there's the hubby. So we get 2 for 1 today. For those watching, we're not charging extra for this. This is look how serious the IT guy is, though, right? Like, you see that? Because it's a big problem when the IT doesn't work.
Oh, it just shut off by itself. Why did it shut off?
Do you have headphones?
Okay, let's see.
Does it work now?
Oh, there we go. Okay.
All right, IT to the rescue.
Thank you.
Thanks, Rick. I was just saying, you didn't hear me. I was commenting on how serious the IT guy looked there for a second.
Got a job to do here.
Isn't he handsome? Look at him.
Yeah, he is handsome. Aw. But
32 years.
we are the IT, we are serious. And then we can have a laugh once we got our job done, right? But I'll figure. I was just saying, like, too, while I was waiting for your speaker to work and your IT department to finish off, that it was a 2 for 1 special today. So yeah. All right. So got a couple more questions. We all know someone who's has the gift of diffusing tense situations with a clever word, who can brighten our day, a good joke or witty observation. For me, it's puns. How has humor or seeing life differently helped you out in navigating tricky situations where there was some tension, there was some personality clashing? How has your humor helped you diffuse some of that, Cathy?
Yeah, well, I'm super fast thinker, so I can easily talk my way around a situation and then bring levity and just start laughing, because I think, again, with the laughter, once we start laughing and we're connected, we can see hopefully we can see the comedy in the situation. Like maybe you're having a disagreement with somebody and you're like, rah. And then if you just start laughing at the ridiculousness of what's happening there, because when we get an emotion, it just is like, it takes over.
Right, and it's our inner wound, right? It's the thing that we're missing, or that, oh, you being rude to me offended me and I feel hurt, right? It's that little inner child that feels hurt and neglected, right?
And social media is all about that, right? You see something, you get all incensed or whatever, you type out your thing and you're like, rah.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, right? And then you get these discussions, and it's so funny because people, like, it's like, do you even know that person? Like, have you really ever met them, or you're just Facebook friends?
Yeah, right. And I always said, like, your Facebook friends aren't your real friends, some,
Oh.
but for the most part, they're just, I look at my Facebook list the other day and I'm going, I haven't met that person, but oh well, I don't know how did I become friends with them? It's like, it's like, I kind of wonder, it's like, how did that happen? Was I drinking? What happened? No, I'm just kidding. Anyway, I digress. So, what is it that drives you to add humor to your work and into your life? Like, like, what is it that drives you to, is it something you were born with? Is it something you inherited, do you think, from your parents? What is it? Where do you get that funny side?
It's funny that you asked that. My parents divorced when I was 7, actually. So, and my dad moved out of province. So I wasn't raised with my dad, but I have a big laugh like my dad. I definitely inherited my dad's laugh. Anywhere in a room, you could hear my dad, like at a party or something. It's like, oh, there's my dad over there. Same with me. Rick says, whenever we go somewhere, like we could be at a convention or one of those big shows or something, BC.
I know.
Yeah, he would say he would say I never have to worry about losing Cathy because I just have to stop, and then it's like, oh, there she is, she's over there, because I'm always laughing, so he can always find me in a crowd.
Got it from your dad's side. You know, we talked about diffusing difficult situations and just before, and I forgot to add this. So I have a really good friend of mine. Her name's Cathy as well. And we got offended with each other. You know, we both, you know, hit a nerve, right, from our past. And then I started, and we were texting each other, and that's a horrible way to overcome a disagreement, because it's like you can't hear the tonality or anything, right? So I thought, you know what, I'm going to add a little laughter here to lighten this up. And I said, I wrote a funny diatribe on, I'm offended that you're offended. And offense, you know, and really you're going on the offense, and in sports you should get a penalty for that, you know, like, so. And then it melted her a little bit, and then we overcame our little spat, right? And with humor, and it was just sort of me writing funny stuff about, I'm offended that you're offended, you know, because we're all offended. We're all like everybody, and you talked about it on social media. We get so offended so quickly, and it's like, look, you know, dude, you want to wear a mask or whatever the situation is, and go do it. You don't want to, then just go do that. You know, it's like, why get offended and your knickers in a knot over it? Because at the end of the day, as a friend of mine who taught improv, Andy Burnham, improv at work, he said, in 5 years from now, it won't matter. You know, that conversation won't matter 5 years from
Next week.
Next week, tomorrow. It's on to the next thing, right? Yeah. So you mentioned, you know, you've got this, you know, this mirth and joy. Overall, what do you see the benefits are to your overall mental and emotional well-being?
Oh, it's huge. It's so big. David, I used to suffer from, as an empath, I used to suffer from depression and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And I realize now in my 50s um, that stuff wasn't mine. It wasn't always my stuff that I was experiencing. I would take on other people's because my hurt was so big and open that, you know, all that negative junk was just going in and I was allowing it.
Yeah.
Now I don't allow that, right? So the laughter has really helped me to stay light, and, you know, laughter really is the music of the gods. Like, you're laughing and it's high vibration. You know, it's not like ha 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 ha. I feel so shitty.
Right. And it's a family show, by the way. No, I'm just kidding.
Poopy.
Yeah, you said it. You said it. No, you're right, and you know, that's why I mentioned the religious context of the archdiocese, because I thought that would be an interesting sort of juxtaposition, because we view religion and all these topics so seriously, and it's like, a little humor, not a bad idea, you know? Yeah, to laugh at, again, to just to laugh at life, to laugh at ourselves, to laugh at our craziness, because we're it's crazy down here sometimes, and it you know, and I'm gonna quote, it is to laugh. Right?
Put
Yeah.
your hand up. Put your finger up, David. Now point at yourself and start laughing.
Yes. Ah. All right. Oh my God. A couple more questions. Laughter and humor brings a lot of joy into our lives, and it can make lives of others more pleasurable too. I know my puns often land with people loving them. Grown. But anyway, what else do you notice in those around you? You know, especially in a business context, when you bring that lightheartedness to the mix, to the meeting, to the networking event, to the business situations that you're in, to the teaching, because let's face it, business as well can be serious at times, and I think it's wise to have a laugh too. We work better and more effectively when we have that lightheartedness and that sense, you know, that humor at play, that lightheartedness and fun. You know, even the dwarves, you know, whistle while you work, you know, that kind of thing. So in a business context, how do you see your humor actually playing out and helping you, maybe even win over clients too a little bit.
So when I go to BC, when I when I go to networking events, when I go to the same groups, when it's my turn to talk, all eyes are on me. They don't know what I'm going to say. I'm always funny. I always make it like, I always make them laugh, even if I don't know what I'm going to say. If I'm like, oh, da, da, it's just your delivery. It's my delivery. And it just softens people. And they're like, they can't wait to what I'm going to say because it's always fun.
Yeah. And yeah. And I know when I teach, like I used to like starting my workshops, and I teach business stuff with a joke, right? And it just sort of, oh, okay, we can relax now. This guy's not going to be a bore, It is going to be some fun. And I think as adults too, they've done studies on adult learning, and that adults need that sense of fun in order to learn, because they're there really to learn. They're not forced to learn, like where your kids go to school. They got to kind of have to be there in order to advance in life, whereas adults have made a choice to go and learn. And if the learning is really dry and boring, you're going to just like zone out, right? And so I love the fact that you're bringing humor to the work, to the work you're doing, and to make it's okay. You can love worms and they love you, right?
Yes. And I've also, also added, of course, the laughter incorporated with my worms and other things, but I've also added a whole separate laughter piece. I was going into long-term care, working with folks with dementia, doing laughter club at long-term care, and L'Arche Daybreak in Richmond Hill, the working with special needs. And that was so much fun. Like as a talker, I mean, as I was named Cathy, like Chatty Cathy, can you imagine? I really can't even imagine. I can't even imagine what it's like not like to be nonverbal, to not have a voice. I can't imagine.
Yeah.
And how I can't imagine how frustrating it must be to have somebody your whole life saying, here, wear this, go here, do you want to eat this, do this, do that. Like it must be like, stop it, like, so behaviors. So going to working with special needs, especially folks that are nonverbal, the message that I've received from some of their attendees, some of their workers, is on Laughter Day, they may have been having a bad day. And when they say, do you want to go to laughter yoga? They indicate that they do. And then they come, and it's a great release. It's a great way just to release without, words or without anything, just like, ha, 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 oh, phew, and then it's gone. And sometimes laughter, because we're doing such deep work, when something traumatic happens to us, we go, oh, right? And then it gets squished down. So then it becomes part of our belly. So when we have those good belly laughs, sometimes it can stir up some, some emotions where you're actually feeling sad, or and it's like, oh, I just had that laughter class. Why am I feeling sad? And I actually had an experience this past week. I was on my bike ride. I was doing 3 laughter clubs last week. So I was like, thinking, what am I going to say or whatever. And I got a message to let people know that, oh, sometimes emotions can be stirred up. So just be aware that if you're feeling something, just say, oh, okay, because I stirred that up. Well, didn't I have a crisis? It was like I had a premonition that was going to happen to me. So there I'm riding ahead. Okay, I'll say that. And then I came home, did my laughter, and then I was like feeling tremendously sad. And I was like, wow, it was really interesting. So I just was like, oh, what is this? Just acknowledging, oh, what is that that's coming up? Thank you for coming up now, and then letting it go. But it was just like, oh, yeah. I mean, I've been laughing for 5 years full on. So I'm just like, wow, what was that just got dug up? We don't know.
The day-to-day grind of what we're going through, and it's like, okay, when is this going to end? It's like, it can end now, right? We can have,
yeah, we're ready.
Now we can have, harmony and abundance, like bring it on now, just my last question, in terms of your close relationships, like family, really good friends, how has your humor helped you, again, diffuse maybe an argument or being disgruntled with somebody? Because, boy, if there's anybody that's going to push our buttons, it's going to be family, right? So how's your, that sense of humor that you're bringing to the mix, helped you, overcome those family disagreements, which we all face?
Yeah, so I think again with the laughter, I don't allow it anymore to get to that really negative area where you're just saying stuff that it isn't even true, but it just comes out in the emotion. With laughter, it kind of gets diffused before that, so that if we can laugh, then you can have a proper conversation about something minus the emotion,
Right.
right? It kind of diffuses the emotion in it.
Yeah.
And then you can have a real, conversation about, oh, what are the facts? What is happening?
Yeah. Yeah. I love it. So it's what we call shameless self-promotion time, Cathy. So where do we? And I want to thank you for doing this because we're flush out of time. But shameless self-promotion time. So what do you got going on? What do we need to know about laughter, and then your work, and where do we reach you?
Beautiful. Well, I have a free laughter yoga class on Tuesdays at 10:30 Eastern Standard. So anyone can come on and join me. It's at cathysclub.com is where they can find me.
Okay.
And I'm also involved in a wonderful summit, the Passionpreneur Summit. And I would love it if people, entrepreneurs or wannabe entrepreneurs. There's 30 plus speakers. It's free, and I would love if people, attended that. I'm one of the speakers, but
And
yeah, it's
August 10th, so starting a week Friday. No, starting, I'm in the wrong month. Next Monday until the 14th, right? So
yes.
4 days. Wow, beautiful. And what can we expect at the Passion event? The Passion.
The Passionpreneur Summit. So that's all kinds of like 30 speakers, all with their own different businesses. They'll be bringing different techniques on how. So the premise of the conference is, all these people are doing their passion, but they might not be making enough money. So these are going to be some wonderful tips and tricks on what people that are doing their passion, how they've stayed in it, how they've actually pivoted a little bit, and I think it's going to be awesome.
Yeah, I wish I had more time, but it sounds great. And what are you speaking about? Are you going to speak about composting, or are you going to speak about laughter and sort of more the personal development side? What's your topic?
So my talk is titled "How Laughter Lifted Me Up," but it's about my journey from worms to laughter. It talks about kind of my whole thing in 30 minutes.
30 minutes. Okay, good luck with that. It's hard,
Yeah.
eh? When you're given a time limit, it's like, oh my God, that went so fast. And you know what'll happen? So, and don't worry about it. You'll find at the end, you'll go, oh, I didn't say this, and it's like,
Yeah.
I forgot to say that. And you know what? Don't worry about it. Let it go, because it's done. It's done. You do it next time. I always, that's it. When I have a guest on this show, for example, if somebody forgets something, I said, well, if you forgot about it, the only person that knows is you, the audience, or somebody watching does it, and it just means we'll have to have you back again, right?
Yippee!
So I really appreciate this at cathysclub.com to take advantage of the free laughter yoga that you're doing, and then the Passionpreneur Summit on August 10th through to the 14th, correct?
Yeah, so they can find the Passionpreneur on my worm website. It's cathyscomposters.com.
Right. Or if they follow you on, I know you posted on LinkedIn and.
Oh yeah, on Facebook, LinkedIn, yes.
Yeah. Thank you so much for this.
Thank you.
And thank you for those watching. Have a great day and a good week ahead, new month. So write your rent check or whatever. And we'll see you next week. Bye for now. Just got to.